Wow, 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 wow. you know, um, almost forgot you're welcome to another video on the Ugambari Football channel. And I'm going to give my quick review of the Chelsea versus Brentford games. It just ended. When you see me laughing, you'd almost think that we won today, or Chelsea, the team won today. But it's just mm, so sad, so bad, so disappointing. Just not good enough. A shocking performance. Shocking performance. Shocking performance. I don't know how many times I have to say this because I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you're so annoyed or so upset, but all you can do rather than rant is just to laugh because this performance was just woeful and laughable performance. And yet again, I said in my former video that I'm not saying he should be sacked, but I'm saying this. I said this in my previous video. If Mauricio Pochettino reverts back to a weird hybrid formation at the back, then he should get this. Then he should be sacked. That is, it's a sackable. I'm not saying he should be sacked, but it's a sackable offense because you've tried this back four. It's worked against Brighton, worked against Arsenal, and you know the way Brentford would play. They will always play that way. Always play that way. It's not sort of something you have to research, something you have to think too hard about. They'll always play that way. Sit deep, defend, and then pressure you when your back is to their own goal. And then if they get a draw, whether it's at their home or at Stamford Bridge, they're happy. They're happy. So coming up with this sort of weird formation where you know you're playing with inverted wingers, they have to cut in to on their stronger foot. And what you have is you need to have a fullback who's overlapping so they're not doubled up on. And whilst on the position, the wing where Sterling was playing, the wing where Sterling was on the left wing, yeah, he had Cucurella, so he wasn't doubled up as much. But Noni Madueke was left isolated. He was isolated. He was isolated. He was isolated because you had Disasi playing at right back. And we all know Disasi doesn't have the legs to play right back, as to play as an attacking right back. He can't bomb forward. So before the game even started, you've already handicapped yourself. That is, Thomas Frank and the management team at Brentford didn't even have to do anything. You already handcuffed yourself. You already handicapped yourself. Just like going, there's the fight coming up with Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury. It's just like Tyson Fury tying one hand behind his back before the fight. He gets a bandage and bandages one hand and says, I'm going to fight Francis Ngannou with one hand tied behind me. So that means Ngannou will not have to do anything special to beat him. And the same thing. And for years, you've had managers that have been craving, to have the personnel that would allow them to have this balance. A quick left back or at the left back position, a quick right back at the right back position, so you have this balance. Conte cried out for that when he was at Chelsea, and now Pochettino, he has 3 left backs, and today he had 2 actual right backs who were fit to play, and he decided to go for a centre back at right back. So before the game started, I know people will look at the possession stats. I think it was something like 69% possession to Chelsea, and then it was 21. No, yeah, to what's it called them to Brentford. Look at that, and then look at the shots taken. Just took 16 shots. But what type of shots we're taking? What type of shots we're taking? Okay, Mikhailo Modric injured or knock, whatever, not playing. Okay, Enzo maybe a knock, whatever, not playing. Okay, Gallagher, I think he did well because we all know Gallagher is not superb on the ball. It's not the one you want to rely on to be a creative spark on the ball. You had Palmer, he played well, I think. But when you have players like Palmer, you need to have runners of the ball, as many as you can get. Madueke started, he didn't play so well, I think. But I think that was because he was isolated, and that's on Pochettino. That's all on Pochettino. He was isolated. And now we're going to the players. Pochettino failed the team in the way he set up the team, especially with their back line. Because if you're going to play at home against Brentford, if I go to the players, more Pochettino, if you're going to play against Brentford at home and you're so scared of their offensive threat that you have to play the centre back at the right back in the right back slot, then you should just give up the job. Because I wonder what you do when you come up against a Man City or a Spurs that are flying high this season. And what gets me upset is you've actually tried this back four and it's worked. It's actually worked. Actually worked. It's not like, oh, I'm still unsure of how this is going to happen. Will it really work? I'm not quite sure. You tried it and it worked. It's been wonderful. Each time the team plays with a back four, with a proper back four, proper full backs, it works. Kukurela played very well last game. Gusto played very well last game. So that's why I predicted a 2-0 win for Chelsea today, but almost like so someone in the stars was there laughing at me, trying to get back at me for something I don't know. And we ended up losing 2-0. Ended up losing 2-0. People will say, oh, is that why you couldn't score? Because you neutralized by yourself. That Pochettino neutralized the offensive threat of Chelsea by himself. So that's on Pochettino. And now the blame is not only on him, but he has to bear the brunt of the blame. But now let's move to the players as well. They have their own share in this. From the first half, I know Madueke had the opportunity where he hit the ball at the bar. And, I think Chelsea should have got 2 penalties. There was a push on, there was a foul on Sterling, and there was a push on Gallagher. It was like the Brentford defender was just, I won't go for the ball. I will push you at first. You lose your footing. If you try to get back up again, I'll push you. And then nothing happens. That was actually should have been a penalty. But that aside, look at the play. Tepid, slow, pedestrian, side to side, side to side, side to side. Almost as if you were expecting Brentford to say, oh, you know what? We're so tired of your passing. We're just tired, of your magnificent passing game. We'll part ways like the Red Sea, and you can just waltz through and score. In fact, the goalkeeper will take the ball off you and put it in the net because of your beautiful passing. And then the moment, just like clockwork or someone set it, the moment Brentford scored, immediately the intensity, the intensity was upped. Pressing, playing, no, by then it's too late. Because what people don't get is if you're playing against a Man City, their ego is involved. They want to play attacking football. They want to play elaborate football. They want to put 5 goals past you. So when they don't have the ball, when an Arsenal, a Man City, the Spurs, Brighton even don't have the ball, they feel aggrieved. They feel like we should have the ball. They feel like you are now the better team. We have to get this ball back. But teams like Brentford, they don't care. You can have the ball, 100% possession of the ball. They don't really care about it. They don't care. But if you're playing against a Man City, then your possession makes sense. because they become desperate and want to get the ball back. But the Brentford, they don't care. You can hold the ball for 150 minutes if it gets that long, and they wouldn't mind. And they wouldn't mind at all. Suddenly consider the goal, start playing balls in, playing balls in behind. But then it was too late, because what you'd see is what happened is what you would have expected to happen. Brought in I think Frank Onyeka, brought him in, put more men in the middle, and just make it tight, difficult. Like I said, there's a psychology of games. If you're playing against a Brentford, home or away, they're happy with a nil-nil draw with 1 point. No one should deceive you. They are happy with a nil-nil draw, home or away. So you have to now, the onus is on you to break them down, to show you want to win, to show you're the supposed big side, to show you're the top six side, to show you a side that wants to go to Champions League, to show you a side that maybe in the next 2 seasons you want to compete for the Premier League. The onus is on you. And then the moment, but still on the players, the moment, like I said, the moment Brentford scored, then the intensity got upped. I kept saying, where was this intensity all this while when it was nil-nil? It almost felt like maybe this is a Champions League game, you're leading 1-0 on aggregate, so you're just happy keeping the ball, trying to see the game out, and then you qualify a 1-0 on aggregate. And then the other team scores a goal, and then you're trying, or scores 2 goals, and then you're trying to get back into the game. No, that was not it. So it was such a bad, shocking performance, because you've seen the way he played against Burnley, see the way he played against Brighton in the Carabao Cup, see the way he played against Arsenal. Unlucky to lose that game. So expect, okay, let's build off of this. And I said this in the last video, that I hoped that the victory against, the game against Arsenal wasn't sort of a top 6 stacks where you're playing against a big side and you just up your game, you elevate your game, and then against the sides you sort of meant to win, you ought to win against, then you just spun out, shoddy performance. So this was a very shocking performance. I wasn't expecting to see this. I most certainly wasn't expecting to see the selection in terms of the back line. I wasn't expecting to see that. Against the Brighton side, I wasn't expecting to see that. So this result, this defeat is not all on, I think it's 50-50. 50% of the blame on Mauricio Pochettino, 50% of the blame on the players. And I'll say this again, many people would now try to blame Noni Madueke. He didn't play well. I don't think he played that well. But he was isolated. He was isolated for whatever reason. Mauricio Pochettino decided that, okay, what I've been doing on the left, prior to the good run of form, what I've been doing on the left, which is keeping out an actual left back and playing the centre back there, I'll do this time. I'll keep out an actual right back, even if I have 2 right backs fit, I'll keep them out and I'll play centre back there, and I'll have Noni Madueke. If you're playing with orthodox wingers, that is a right-footed winger on the right wing, a left-footed winger on the left wing, then it's okay. You can play. You can have fullbacks who don't push up so much because they go with their pace, they go to the byline, put the balls in. But once you're playing with an inverted winger, the whole world knows that winger would want to cut in on his strong foot, which is either his left or his right foot, and then take a shot or cross the ball in. And then what happens is, as a reaction to that, the defending team, the defending side will double up, especially if it's a side that doesn't expect to get anything from that game, so which are happy with the point, such as Brentford. That means you have your winger or a midfielder and the defender, the fullback there, doubling up on the inverted winger. And then he's done this against Madueke, and people will say, "Oh, Madueke didn't play well." You say, "Give him an opportunity," but he has done Madueke wrong. And what did he do? He brought in Martin. I keep saying this. Martin is sort of he can be serviceable. He's nowhere near Madueke's level. He's nowhere near being a good or a decent right winger because that's not a natural position. He's serviceable. And it's something where if let's say you want to lock down a flank, you're playing against a Man City, you want to lock down that flank, then okay, you play two fullbacks. So no one, so you just kill that flank. But not as an offensive threat. Not as an offensive threat. When you're 11th or is it 10th, barely 10th on the league table, you don't do this sort of machinations. You don't make this sort of selections. You just, I keep saying this, look at the way Liverpool plays. I'm not saying you must play the way they play. Look at the way Klopp has them playing. Whether they're playing against Man City, whether they're playing against Brentford, whether they're playing against any team whatsoever in the Europa League, they play the same way. Whether Klopp has to rely on an academic graduate to play left back or to play as a winger, they play the same way. To play in the midfield, they play the same way. So that you have that tactical integrity. But Pochettino keeps flipping and flopping, and there are people who are ready to kiss his ring. He's not at the level of Pep. I'm not saying he's not a good coach. He's not a level of Pep, not a level of Klopp. So you keep things simple. And people keep referring to Pep. Pep Guardiola is bored. I'm telling you this, he's bored. He's won everything. No team seems to be able to compete with them because once City are ready this season again, they're probably going to win the league again. Maybe by 8, 10 points again. He's bored, so he's trying all sorts of things to see if he can get himself and his players interested in the game. But you are trying to, on the side of Pochettino, you're trying to build a team to resurrect a team from the ashes, and you go on and you do this, and you keep flip flopping at the back. You have all the resources. You have three left back. I say, prior to the last 4 games, we are playing centre back at left back. Now you have 2 feet right backs. You end up playing for the better part of the game. You ended up playing, or you started the game playing a centre back at right back. So performance shocking. Sorry, the video is longer than I wanted it to be. Shocking performance, not good enough. So I know you all have said probably you're just fun like I am. So, but anyway, just subscribe to the channel, like the video, even if you're upset like I am, and let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you think I'm wrong that Pochettino doesn't have any blame and just on the players, or just on Pochettino? Let me know in the comment section, and see you yet on yet another video. Do have a splendid rest of your day.